Right now we're at the Schooner platform. The Schooner platform's been on flow since 1996, and in 2018 ceased production, and since then we've been decommissioning the platform. 360's involvement in Schooner and Ketch assets is to oversee the decommissioning. They ceased production in 2018. In 2021 but we became duty holder of the two assets and have overseen the decommissioning since. That includes the P&A of both platforms with a mobile jack-up unit, and since then they went into lighthouse mode, which is kind of where we're at now, cold suspension, and we're now in the phase of removing the two platforms, and the second one is Schooner. The Schooner's been removed by the TL heavy lift barge. So the TL is a DP vessel, semi-submersible. Comes alongside. It's got cranes with the capability to lift the topside and the jacket. At the moment, preparations are being made to lift the topside, and already the rigging has been installed. Hopefully in the next day or two the topside will be lifted. As duty holder, we've still got legal responsibility for the asset and the safety of personnel on board. So we need to make sure that we've got enough appliances to evacuate people from the asset should there be an emergency situation. It is a hazardous task. There's a lot going on a very small place. There's a lot of heavy lifting gear. There's two of the largest cranes in the world in use. So there's a lot of things you have to do to make sure people are safe. There's the controller work, obviously plays a big part in that, but it does come down to the individuals to look after themselves and look out for each other as well. Wildlife at Schooner, it's actually become a habitat for various seabirds. For this project, as the kittiwake in the UK is a protected species, we've actually had to apply for a disturbance licence with the regulator, and in order to get that licence we've actually had to do a lot of deterrent work. So we've actually had a vessel come offshore with falcons, and the falcons have flown around the schooner basically to deter the kittiwakes from nesting on the structure. So when we turned up with the TL, we had minimal activity due to the work we'd done, and the regulator was able to issue us with a disturbance licence for the few that were remaining on board.
Yeah, so in the last 24 hours we hit a key milestone for the heavy lift campaign and for the decommissioning project for Schooner and Ketch. We successfully removed the top sides from the jackets and landed it onto the deck, ready for sea fastening. To be the last OEM, or one of the last OEMs, is a little bit bittersweet. For me, I've been here 2 years, mainly on the project, but for a lot of the other guys, they've been here 12, 15 years, so they hold this platform holds a lot of good memories for them. They've spent half their working career here, so it's sad to see it go.
Overnight we lifted the schooner topside, which you can see on deck behind me. That was lifted just after midnight last night, and we brought it to deck. The hook load came in spot on at about 1,270 tons, Now we've installed the rigging platform on top of the jacket, and we're using that as access to prepare and weld out the jacket lifting point.
So we can't use the original pad eyes on the jacket because the original design was just for the weight of the jacket itself. But obviously over the years we've got marine growth in addition, and also the added weight of the piles. And also on top of that, we're going to have to do a bit of overpull in case of any suction on the seabed with the mud mats. The way we're lifting the jacket, we're not using the conventional pad eyes, so we've actually put a trunnion configuration on top of the legs. So it's like a cap that goes on top of the leg, and the slings go around either side. And they have to be angled in such a way to ensure we have a good centre of gravity for the lift as well.
We're currently at about 31 metres draft with the vessel, and that's because the jacket top is about 10 or 11 metres above the sea level. Once the jacket is connected on the hook, we'll deballast up to a draft of around 16 metres for the crane suspended transport. There's been a number of challenges here, one of which is the tall nature of the jacket compared to the hook height available for the TL. So we've had to design the rigging very carefully and check all the clearances very carefully to ensure that we can lift it clear of the water for a safe transit into Rotterdam.
So yeah, the slings are now in place, ready for the lift, and we're just waiting on the piles to be cut. Ongoing at the moment is dredging of the piles. So when the piles are stamped into the seabed, they're grouted in to the jacket structure, and obviously now we need to cut the piles to enable us to remove the jacket from the seabed. So initially the dredging tool goes down into the pile leg. Once the dredging tool's inside, obviously starts to pull up all the debris and soil and sand that's inside the pile, and we can also use the ROV to monitor the exhaust of the dredging tool and make sure we're getting stuff out of the pile.
The biggest challenge on this project has been the height of the jacket. We're here on board the SSCB Tialf, and even though it's got very large cranes, the height of this jacket is pushing the limit of the hook height that we have available. So even when the jacket is hoisted fully out of the water, we have around 5.5 metres clear below the jacket to the waterline. So for the crane suspended transport from the removal site here into Rotterdam, we'll hold the jacket above the water and sail in. Once the topside and jacket are lifted and removed, the seabed will be more or less how it was before the platform was installed. There will be some small pipe sections left initially, but a separate contractor will come on later and remove all of those pipelines down to seabed level. Yeah, working alongside 360Energy on this project, it's been very positive, very collaborative. We're working together with them as partners.
I'd like to thank everyone involved in the project, right through from the Harrow guys to the client and my colleagues from 360 as well. Everyone's worked really well together, collaborated well, a very one-team approach, which is the best way to get these projects executed if everyone's aiming for the same goals.